So actually, on multiple platforms yesterday, I got asked similar questions. A lot of people wanted more detail on the magic system, which made me happy. It's cool that people were asking, and I realized I hadn't made a video on it. Now, this video is probably going to be long, so it's probably going to be a multi-parter since I try to keep everything within the 3-minute timeline for YouTube and Instagram. And if you're a player, this is pretty spoilery. My players have a more intuitive understanding of the magic system since they actually play in the world. But I'm gonna be breaking out some larger scale stuff. Now, magic in Attovia is called meta work, and if you've watched any of my stuff, you probably already know that. And if you didn't, sorry if that wasn't more clear. I try to make that point, but sometimes I forget to do so. But what is meta? So, meta comes from the lack of a multiverse in the universe Attovia exists in. Now, the universe Attovia exists in is called Alvad. It previously was one in a multitude of universes that were the branches of the Tree of Time, this conceptual construct that was sort of presided over by these multi-dimensional beings called the Abaki. Now, there's a whole story about this up on my wiki if you want to go read The Burning of the Tree of Time. I'm not going to get into all that because there's quite a bit going on there. But suffice it to say that at a certain point, the Tree of Time has to be pruned, and then it can't be pruned enough, and so it must be burned. Once it is burned, it leaves the roots and the stump of sort of the base fundamental laws of physics behind, and there's a singular soul universe now left. But what had created the multiverse in the first place was sentient thought. Beings with souls making decisions caused branching in the Tree of Time that weighed it down too much. So where does all that energy go? That energy is converted into meta. Meta, as I have personally described it, is this substance that is 1 part information, 1 part matter, but like 100% both. And so it can be like instructed to do things. And because it isn't really an atom, it can basically be instructed to inform the world around you. Now, I have a lot of stuff in mind for like a sci-fi setting in Attovia, and a good way to explain the magic system is actually to kind of go way forward in time to people that understand things like chemistry and like molecular theory and like quantum physics and stuff like that. The more understanding you have of how the world around you works, the more you can do with meta, because you can utilize meta to like force things to happen, right? I can tell meta if I have enough information to just like start splitting H2O atoms in the air.